The charade song is nothing but a song that I sing. There was a song, it was stuck in my head. Unfortunately, it was made up. So what does that tell you? But maybe I'm crazy. Yeah.
I kind of feel like you have a different song every time we do a podcast.
I make them all up.
I think you're channeling the spirit of Buddy Holly.
Not even close. I can't even come close to that.
Otis Redding.
No.
Captain Kangaroo.
I have practiced randomness for way too long. So
Mr. Rogers.
I'm just good at randomness now.
I like randomness.
I mean, I think it creates a flow and an inspiration. So
yeah, because you don't know where to jump off.
Yeah, right.
Well,
and then that's it. That's the nice thing about randomness is that when you use and do enough randomness, you can kind of always call upon it. It's like almost a skill, and that skill becomes really kind of useful on a normal basis because you can use it for inspiration or creativity or conversation. I use that randomness a lot when I'm talking to 5-year-olds.
Mm-hmm.
So
was that you pointed at me when you said 5-year-olds?
Well, I mean, it's 5-year-old mentalities or 5-year-olds.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just I don't know.
Because 5-year-olds are completely random.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
You don't know where they're going to go.
And it's interesting that if they spend too much time thinking, they shut up and they move on. So if you want to kind of control the activity of a 5-year-old, especially like this is a skill that I've learned in hairdressing for, unruly children that want to do too much in the chair. And instead of just saying, no, I don't want to cut your child's hair, which I should probably do instead.
That would be so good if you did that. Anyway,
right.
I'm not cutting your child's hair.
Right. No, I'm not.
Yeah,
but
and I'll tell you what, they can cut their own hair. Yeah. Here's some scissors.
They will eventually do that.
It's time to learn some life skills.
Usually in about kindergarten. So, no, I work with random figures and thoughts and patterns with them, and I more or less confuse their mind, and that causes them to calm down, and it causes them to allow me to control the conversation. So then we're talking about these random things I throw out there, and they seem to grasp for it.
So your recommendation is to out-random a 5-year-old. And if you can out-random a 5-year-old, you win.
You have mastered a lot.
You get a gold trophy.
Lot. That is very true.
No, when I have children in the office, I will try to out-random them. They'll say something, and I'll say something completely random and completely outlandish. And they're like, no, it's not that way. And I'm like, it is.
It is.
I live in a forest.
I know.
I'm a gnome.
Yeah.
And I hang out with forest creatures.
And I think it's because they haven't learned to decipher the difference between imagination and reality. So then they are like, well, this is a person who tells me stuff, therefore people who tell me stuff, it's true. So they kind of just run with it and believe it sometimes. It kind of depends on that whole like, oh no, you're full of shit. And I know that yet. Like, because I could tell plenty of them. I mean, they starting getting into like smart 6-year-olds or something like that. And they've got this little wit to them and they're like, no, that's not true. I'm like, damn it. Okay, well, I guess I'll move on to something else. And then there's the ones that are like, what? No way. You've had no clue. And
they're looking to the parents like, is this guy for real?
Yeah, like, did he really? What? 3 lions? No way. No.
At the same time.
It was a moment. So it could be one of my magic talents, though.
Is subduing 5-year-olds.
It is. It's, I guess, several talents, actually.
Yeah, that's what are your other talents beyond subduing 5-year-olds?
Underwater basket weaving.
Oh, I like that. I took that class in college.
Yep. Dreaming while I'm awake, because I don't dream when I sleep.
So lucid living.
Yes, there you go. Lucid living. I love that one. I like that.
Yeah, instead of lucid dreaming. Why aren't we living lucidly?
I don't know. I do every day.
Yeah.
I do every day. It's crazy. I mean, it's overwhelming. So you got to learn how to like field through it and pick and choose. So there's that, which is kind of crazy because your thoughts are going 1,000 miles away. And then there's 1,000 possibilities and 1,000 scenarios and 1,000 situations. And I kind of just live life by navigating and meandering through the ones and the outcomes that I think have the best ratio of success. So you kind of feel like you're always stumbling left, stumbling right, stumbling left, and you're always trying to keep that stumble close enough to where you're going to go to the destination that you want to get to.
Yeah.
But it leaves things like openness, possibilities, change, influences can erratically move me in one direction, and it doesn't cause much of an emotional upheaval typically.
Because you're not getting straight off your path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So life is taking you one way, like the pendulum is moving one way to the other, but you're still keeping your focus centered on that on that goal.
Exactly. And the kind of cool thing is this kind of brings me to a game I want to play with you.
Oh, good. We have a topic.
It's kind of a topic. I don't know if it's a topic. It'll be a subject. We'll see if it's a topic. I think we can decide if it's a topic.
Are we doing
later.
Subjects now?
It could be. I don't know. Topic it
well,
is. But it's kind of the topic, yeah.
Okay.
And the topic is based off of the inspiration of a game that I've built.
Yeah, let's play.
One of the inspirations that I think we've grown up with, one of the influences that have happened to all of us, is the creation of superheroes. Mm-hmm. I view myself in certain lights as a superhero at times. I try to model some of my behavior after superhero traits of some sorts at times. I'm still trying to figure out how to stick to the wall. I can't quite do that yet, but I'm trying.
Have you? How far have you gotten with that?
Throwing myself to the wall, grasping intently, trying to see if my fingers will actually adhere to
just by sheer grip.
Just hold with. Actually, I was hoping that the moisture of my hands. I thought maybe I might have superhuman moisture, and it would stick to stuff. It doesn't stick.
This completely explains why you've got finger-sized holes in your wall.
It might be.
Yeah.
It might be. Eventually, you just push through it, and then you get there.
Yeah. Drywall is not that strong.
But I thought this was the funny thing was what if everybody had a superhero power? Everybody gets a superhero power.
I've got a superhero power.
You have a superhero.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what is your superhero power?
Empathy.
Oh, okay.
Empathy.
That's a superhero power?
I think so. Oh. Okay, well, there's so many jump off points. I'm already like.
And we're not even in the game yet. I mean,
let's play the game first.
Oh no, let's hear your superhero power.
Okay.
Because then I'm going to make you come up with a superhero power. So let's hear about your superhero power
this is
first,
legit.
And then we'll come up with a fake one.
Which, by the way, my superhero power, I teach people.
Yeah.
And is something that I think we can all do.
I mean, I would say that teachers are superheroes.
Well, no, that's a piece of it. But empathy, I can feel anything going on with a person. I can feel where it's located. I can feel where they're holding pain or anything else. I can feel their emotional state, and I can feel where it resides inside them.
Oh.
Now, I was talking to a guy recently who teaches Qigong, and he said Qigong,
which is a game?
No, it's like a branch of Tai Chi.
Oh, okay.
It's a way of moving and
flow
moving
and energy and
absolutely
that type of good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. So he's a Qigong instructor. He's
I usually just use magnets
in order to move energy. Mm-hmm. Well, that'll work too.
I mean,
some people do use magnets for that purpose.
Oh, I've heard that.
Yeah, but he was telling me one of his teachers had a gift where he could actually sense things through smell.
Through smell?
Through smell. Oh. And he said that he was working
through smell too, but I don't know if it tells me anything. How bad your burritos were yesterday.
Right, you've got diarrhea. Yeah, my spidey sense is kicking in. Please help.
That was a talent. But.
Yeah, there's diapers over there if you need, or more Kleenexes.
I know, right? It's bathroom
napkins. So one of his teachers could sense through smell and would actually teach how to do that. And he worked with military. And one of the things he taught, I don't know how extensively this went, but with some people he worked with in the military, he taught them how to smell when a sniper was sniping, was actually had them in the crosshairs.
Oh, wow.
That's how deep the sense could go.
Did that work?
I mean, I'm assuming so. If it didn't,
I feel like this is an episode from Men Who Stare at Goats.
Right. If it didn't work, No one would ever know.
Yeah, it's true.
And one guy's like, yeah, totally. I smelled things and I'm still alive. And it's like, what about Tony?
Yeah. Well, he had a bad day. He had a cold, so
Right.
he couldn't smell it that
He
day.
had a cold and he couldn't smell anything. And his spidey sense didn't kick in.
No.
But he had bad diarrhea as well.
Yeah,
so
that's
it was a bad day for Tony in general.
He happened to be set up located in a Mexican restaurant, and it was
the worst place.
too much smell.
I never go there because of the sniper attacks.
Right, you're afraid.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah, but these are what we conceive of as siddhis, siddhis,
Oh, okay.
siddhis. And what they're known of in Hinduism is like the gifts of the spirit. In Christianity, they would say gifts of the Holy Spirit or something along those lines.
Oh, okay.
But there's like something like 70 or 80 different gifts of the spirit.
Well, it's a lot of gifts.
It is a lot of gifts.
This is a very giving spirit.
I know.
Man.
The gifts that keeps on giving.
No, that's a different spirit.
What spirit? Are we talking about Santa Claus?
Okay. So, anyways.
Yeah. So
the cities.
Right.
With a D.
Yeah. siddhi.
Okay.
And there's all of them from clairvoyance to clairsentience to claircognizance to clairgustance to all the clairs.
To Clarisil or...
Yeah. Claritin.
Yeah, Claritin, that's it.
Yeah. So some is like sense of smell. So is the sun. Some is a sense of being able to know something. And what you're describing is in a sense of claircognizance. Because it's like, where you want to go. And when something pulls you, you're like, nope. And you'll, you talked about this before. Clairvoyance would be like, you have your backyard, your space.
Yeah.
And in your mind, it's already mapped out.
Yeah.
You already have the vision of it. And I work on a guy that reminds me of you. He was working on his house and building all these things. And I said, you already see it before it's built. And he's like, yeah. And he said, the frustrating thing is I'm describing it to my wife, and she doesn't get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But in my mind, it's already built, and I can already see it all played out. That's a superhero skill.
Yeah, you're right there. Especially when I can collect things along the way to fit into the pictures, which are random collections, and people don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You're
like, why do you have this piece over here? And
yeah,
like,
like it's garbage. And be like, oh, no, it's going to fit here with this, and then it's going to do this. And you're like, I don't even know what that does. But like, it'll get there. Just wait.
Yeah. But you can see then all those pieces. Like, we're in my studio right now.
Yeah.
And I've been paying for the studio since March of last year. And I had it ostensibly for events. And I didn't do any events in 2020 for obvious reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
So I kept on getting this sense I needed to hold on to it. And you and I are utilizing it right now. We're getting a lot more events going.
Yeah.
And I started picking up pieces, video equipment, and things like that in the meantime. And it's like all come together now.
Yeah.
We're creating something with some of the equipment that you bought, that I bought, that's been around. And it's kind of like, why do you have this right now? You're not actually using it. You're like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
It's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Just wait for it.
It's a big surprise.
Yeah. So what is your superhero skill?
So, well, I think what I want to talk about before I talk about my superhero skill is the imagination and the game that I have created. Actually, it's a whole superhero team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I got some of the characters, and I want to see what you would fit in for the characters. And so the thought is we have all these superhuman things. We would love to do all this. But what if all the talents that were given out to the world were talents that you might not want?
Oh, sure.
So the gimmick is to create what is your dream team of the superhuman team. The unsuperheroes. The unsuperheroes.
Yeah.
They're the unsuperheroes.
So they just take away the word super altogether, and maybe even the word hero.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So one of the unsuperheroes.
Kind of like anti-hero.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, anti-hero might incline to be bad.
Sure, that's true.
These guys are good.
They're well-meaning, well-intentioned.
And they have talent. They have superpowers.
Okay.
Right? It's an obvious superpower. It's something that no one else can do.
But it's like something no one would want.
But it's something no one would want.
There was a Family Guy episode where like Meg could grow her fingernails really long.
Yeah.
And then
right.
shorten them. Yeah.
Exactly. It was that one. So one of my first characters in this unsuperheroes is a gentleman who could fly.
Okay.
But he can only fly 1 inch from the ground. And not only could he only fly 1 inch from the ground, he cannot hover like Magic Boy.
Uh-huh. Superman?
No, who's the magic goth dude that thinks he can do? Chris Angel.
Oh, sure, that guy.
Chris Angel, right?
Yeah.
So he can't float like Chris Angel.
Okay.
He can lay down on the ground in the laying position, and he can fly.
Okay.
1 inch above the ground.
Yeah.
But he can't go over curbs.
Uh-huh.
He can't go anything that are bigger than 1 inch because he can't like float himself, and he can only move at laying down. So if he ever needs to stand up for it, he has to stop and stand up, and that's it. That's all he can do.
Mm-hmm.
He can just fly laying down.
This guy's going to have some incredible abs.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So that was one of them.
He would do well in Kansas. He could float across the entire state.
It would be questionable to see if he could float across water. I don't know if that's...
A fun fact.
I mean...
Kansas, the topography of Kansas, when compared to a pancake actually had more dips to it than Kansas.
True.
It's very flat. Yeah.
There is less than 1,000 foot of elevation across the whole state, I think.
Yeah.
It's really small. Really flat. The second character that I created was a man who could pull exact change out of his pocket.
Okay.
Only exact change.
Sure.
It didn't matter. He could never manifest anything if the change wasn't needed either.
Mm-hmm.
So if his bill was $10.27, he could reach into his pocket and he could pull out 27 cents.
Okay.
So that's all he could do, though. So he couldn't ever manifest more money for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So he couldn't become richer. And he couldn't pull out any dollars, so he couldn't like make more money. He
just pull out like $10.27 in change?
Just the 27 cents.
You know what he would do then? He can make a fortune.
He could.
Put him in contact with me.
Okay.
Because all he would need was...
You've got a Ponzi scheme for
Yes,
him?
I already have it. All he needs is $10 and then a return policy. It's very liberal. Just keeps on going back over and over and over again. But find something that's 99 cents so you can maximize each return.
There you go. That would help a little bit.
Right. He just showing up in customer service all day long. I got another return. You never leave. And I'm always giving you 99 cents back.
All of it, just that one little bit. Make a little bit back.
Fortune.
So one of the other guys would be the guy who could show up. He could teleport in time.
Mm-hmm.
Anywhere he could ever be. He could teleport anywhere in time. Is a beautiful power. 5 seconds too late.
Too late for what?
Everything. Just everything. It wouldn't matter if I wanted to go see a movie.
I'm actually living that life.
You're actually too late. You don't.
You've actually described me.
Who do that. They're like,
I'm always 5 seconds too late.
Yeah, I teleported to the shower. Well, you're too late. There's no water left. Like
that would be really, really long.
It would be.
Yeah,
right.
Like water doesn't exist anymore. You didn't pay your bill. Yeah,
it doesn't happen.
Take me to the shower. It's like there's no apartment anymore.
So what type of, do you have any inspirations or any ideas of what other superpowers would be unimpressive to be a superpower?
I mean, those are impressive. And you've had time to think of these. I
have.
You give me a pop quiz, and you've done your homework assignment.
I think that's the game, though, is to see. Because I have a feeling that what we'll do is you'll be able to start seeing, and I think everybody should try to challenge this, right? Take a look at things that you think that aren't impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. You're pale.
Ouch.
Okay, I know, right? I know. So, I mean,
this is news to me.
Welcome to be a redhead.
This is news to me.
But like, okay, so like, what's your power is the ability to glow.
I'm just shining.
But you can only see it glow if the lights are on, so you can't help yourself at night. You know, and then the light is brighter in the daylight, so you can't see whether you're glowing or not.
I'm so pale, I glow at night.
I know, that'd be nice.
I'm like a glow stick that cracked.
But this isn't a talent that can't help. So it has to be a useless talent.
I would say all those talents are actually useful.
I mean, and I think that's really what the point is ultimately in the end is when you've made fun of everything and you had some fun figuring out there's some silly things out there in the world.
Yeah.
Take a look at the ones that you think that aren't impressive. And sometimes the ones that you think aren't impressive about yourself are probably some of the most impressive.
Well, and when you have like a disability, because what you're describing is almost a disability, you can turn it into a superpower. My partner's stepfather has a brother who lost many of his toes and both of his arms.
Okay.
At the age of 17 or 18.
Wow.
Electrical incident.
Oh, wow.
Did that stop him? No. He has gone on with his life. He
can now fly.
He can fly 1 inch off the ground.
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually, you're describing him. No, he can. He has a riding mower and he rides it with his feet. He drives a car. He's had a family. He's lived his life. He's actually been successful.
Oh, wow.
And his point was he was too young to stop living.
Right.
So, but then you tell that story and it becomes a story of inspiration because you go, I've got all my fingers, all my toes, both my arms, both my legs. What's my excuse?
Right.
if you could even say that his super power that emerged from that accident actually spurred his life forward, because he's got a brother who has more, but sees himself as a victim and unable to move forward within his life. And he's got full abilities within himself, but mentally he's blocked.
And really, I think the biggest thing is to realize that we have superpowers that we can manifest at any point in time. Sometimes it's an accident that causes you to do that. And so this gentleman, he had an accident caused him to see his super potential. And then his brother, who has had every opportunity available to him, is drowning in all of this stuff because he hasn't had a catalyst to allow him to see himself for who he is.
Yeah.
And I think that's where people really falter. And I think they also think that potentially maybe they think that they're the unsuper heroes. I don't have a talent that's good enough. It's not true. You have a talent that's good enough for you. Don't try to be like everyone else. Try to be the best you.
That's it right there.
And that's because that's all it is, right? A superhero is someone who is the best at being them. And most of the time, all superheroes at one point in time were rejected from all of society.
Right, they're outcasts.
All day.
Yeah.
And they're viewed painted with this past of turmoil and reluctancy and not having a good outcome. And really, they just chose not to give up.
Well, look at Wolverine.
All day long.
Yeah.
All day
or
long.
all the X-Men for that matter.
I mean, I think it resides with each and every superhero.
Yeah.
And something was done or something happened or there was this terrible accident.
Don't even get me started on Batman's parents. Every time I still see that alleyway. Oh man.
Comes every time.
Yeah.
Right? So,
but it made him.
Some of the littlest things, like patience, is one of my superpowers.
Is being patient.
Yeah. So I have a huge amount of patience. I can just process and wait to see the results. Not that I can wait, I'm not patient as in like, oh, I like watching paint dry, but I'm patient for development, patient for someone to learn the results and the answers. So I have this ability to be super patient when most people are like, I want this answer now.
Yeah.
And I found that as I faced why am I not getting the answers I want? Why am I not getting the results I want? My turmoil caused me to look at slowing down. And now, as I slow down, and you could almost question, do I potentially even slow down time? Because I react slower now.
Yeah.
And I challenge myself now every day to see how slow I can react. And the slower I react, the smarter I am. The faster I can respond to what's all happening, what's all going around, potentially seeing a bigger picture. Not to say it works every single time, because there's plenty of times that, something explodes in me and I don't work right, But
it becomes like a teaching lesson for when you weren't able to maintain still. The fascinating thing I find is what you're describing is like the rudiments of all spiritual practices.
Sure.
They talk about stillness. They talk about presence. I was working with a mother and daughter today. And what I was doing with them, one of my favorite examples is I have people imagine a clock. And I have them imagine that the clock is slowing down. I'll even have them touch their wrist. And every time they push, like they're pushing a button, the clock slows down. So I go, okay, the clock is ticking. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. Okay, pushing the button. 1 second. To the next. To the next. And then I push it. Okay, push it twice now. 1 second. 1 second.
Right.
I have them continue to do that, but they start to slow down because now they're realizing they're in control of time. The great spiritual masters and teachers would say that if you have just a fraction of a second where you're present, then that's a second where you're not reactive.
Yeah.
And that second is an eternity. And you think if you're just present then for a second, which is a superhero skill.
It is. It really is.
You change the whole trajectory of your life.
Yeah.
Because if you're not reacting, then you have more time now not to apologize. More time now not to, like I mentioned, I got into the crypto stuff. We were getting this FOMO, fear of missing out moment recently because all the markets.
Is that what FOMO means?
You've heard that before.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, yeah,
Not
FOMO.
really.
Yeah, FOMO is fear of missing out.
Fear of missing out.
Yes, I was totally FOMOing.
I'm not all that hip on this jive lingo that you young kids. Are you older than me or younger than me?
I didn't want to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm about to be older.
Yeet.
Okay.
So,
That I don't even know about that. Ratchet blew my mind, so
yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
But
Weird flex.
so FOMO.
FOMO. Yes, we had total fear of missing out because the crypto markets had crashed and we're like, now's the time to buy. Well, we couldn't. Nothing was working and it was showing us where we were blocked inside of ourselves. And I was just not feeling the energy behind it. It said, and my partner agreed, let's take some time away from it. Well, the markets went down even further. And we didn't have to make a decision at that moment. But at the same token, that was showing me how I was becoming so pulled into something that was external to me that I was actually losing myself. I was becoming reactive with it. It was causing volatility with my life. Because watching the markets go up and down, I felt like I was going up and down. So I've actually taken it a step further recently and stepped away from it. And then when I feel a strong pull and I listen to it and it's the right timing, well, I'll do it. But just having that split second to recognize within yourself when you're getting pulled or when you're getting kind of volatile, or when you feel the push, I mean, that is a superhero skill. Yeah, what else you got?
Let's see. One of the other talents of mine is the ability to
Whistle through your belly button.
processes. Processes.
Yeah.
Processes. I have a really unique clairvoyancy almost in the ability to see something done once and then already know how to redo it and break it down, tear it apart, and redo it better.
Yeah.
And it's instantaneous for me. So, and then that's kind of been the piece that I've then looked at to say, okay, what skill should I use to further a lot of my life? And because of this skill that sits there and I'm so good at it, I'm like, wow, this is something that I need to integrate into useful practices. And now I take a look at it and I go, okay, this is what I'm good at. So these are the types of things I'm going to kind of look at potentially trying to do. So when I feel lost or I feel disheveled or I feel like I don't know what's going on, I revert back to my talent and I say, okay, talent, what can you see in these types of things, in this type of problems? Where would you operate the best? And then I focus on where my talent would operate the best. And the other ones would just kind of be pushed away and allowed. Because if I'm going to struggle, let's say, okay, I need to read 10 books this whole month. And this is where I really need to focus. And I need to, but I'm not able to sit down and I'm not there to concentrate. I'm not there to do that type of stuff. Doesn't that give you an answer that say that if this is really difficult, this isn't your path?
No, most definitely.
You know?
You're not moving with the flow.
So you need to kind of look at your other options. And then by knowing some of the talents that you have, you can say, okay, my talent is this. Which one of the other options would fit closest to that? And let me try that one out.
Yeah.
So then that has kind of also given me that ability to take on challenging situations and say, man, I have a possibility outcome in this area. I'm going to go that path. And more times than not, it seems to work out much better than the other ones potentially could.
Because you're working with your natural expression too.
Yeah. So it's giving you now the ability to control direction because you can say, these are the ones I'm good at. And sometimes it's empathy, right? So if it's empathy, then put yourself in situations where empathy would be a piece of power. And then use that to your advantage to navigate through that set of hurdles or challenges that exist. So once again, see, you're still just taking the talents that you have, because are superpowers anything more than just unique talents?
No, I would say that they're just, this gets into your soul's path, your dharma, your purpose.
Sure.
But it's recognition like that you are a unique human.
Yeah.
Unique being. And as a unique being, you can't be a carbon copy of the world. But there's something very special about you and the way you express or the way you interact with the world. And then it becomes incumbent upon you to find what that path is. Otherwise, you're gonna hate yourself and you're gonna hate your life.
Well, and that struggle is a real struggle to figure out how you get. And that's why probably most origin stories of superheroes have some sort of level of turmoil, because you have to battle with turmoil. You have to battle with yourself's turmoil to realize that there's an outcome that comes past it.
Well, and give yourself permission to be that expression, because you're talking about like my past.
Yeah.
And the origin story of my superhero skill is that I could feel the world when I was younger, and I let it consume me. And because of that, I started to learn how to actually move the energy and move everything around me. And then I created a space where I could actually use that as a superhero gift. Somebody can sit in front of me. I can feel their pain. I can move it. I can connect with their chakras. I can move into their systems. Yeah. I've had several people in the last week where they've had huge breakthroughs, and it's about tapping into where they're holding the energy and moving it. But I'm actually then using my superhero gift, that spirit that I've been imbued with, and then being able to use it to serve humanity. But for a long time, I didn't want to be seen in that light. I didn't want to be weird. I didn't want to be out there.
Yeah, right. See,
I didn't know what to do with it.
Because it's not what normalcy says, and for me, is the same thing, right? So I didn't want to walk those paths, and everybody's like, "Why are you walking this path? It just seems so weird." And I'm like, "You just have to get to the point that it's just me,
right?
It's just me." So once you accepted that it was just you, now you could use that to your advantage. You could use that power, because you weren't trying to hide that power. You weren't putting yourself under a cloak and hiding away from everybody else. You're just out there in a pair of spandex saving lives now.
Yeah, it's a bit awkward.
It might be more me. That might be my
I think spandex
fantasy.
is probably more clothes than you typically wear. It's just you naked out there going, who wants a hug?
Look, the kibbles and bits are covered.
Yeah.
So
well, we got that covered.
That's all legally, that's all that needs to be done. So
well, I mean, superheroes have different type of costumes.
That's exactly right.
Now, let's talk about that.
Costumes of superheroes?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, because most of them are skin tight.
Yeah. Why would they not be?
I mean, I want to see Superman in like some gabardines. I want to see him in like some cotton 100% wrinkle-free Dockers.
I want to know why the world is so afraid of skin-tight clothes, especially like the male demographic, when some of our biggest heroes all wear skin-tight clothes. Like Batman. Batman's a badass, right?
Sure.
He is in a skin-tight suit.
Right.
Maybe a skin-tight suit with some muscles attached to it, whatever.
Right.
But the same goes with Superman.
One of his costumes had nipples.
It did.
Why?
It did.
Why does a costume need nipples? Does the costume lactate? What's happening with that?
He was excited all the time.
He was so excited it actually went through the costume itself. Get him some Band-Aids or something.
Man, that guy's cold. He needs more of armor.
He could cut glass with those things. Like he just starts fighting other villains. Like, he got me with the nipple. Darn, that sharp.
Yeah, so I don't know why more people don't wear, spandex. It's stretchy. You can like exercise and limber up.
Yeah. Well, yoga pants are a miracle to modern society.
I love yoga.
God bless the person who made the yoga pants.
Yeah. No, yes, on all sides. Visually and flexibility.
Right.
It's beautiful.
So if you were a superhero then, what would your costume be?
Man, okay, so my costume, if I was a superhero, I don't know. I don't think I'd want a mask. Mm-hmm. I think I would definitely be like Thor.
You just want to be seen.
I just want to be seen. Mm-hmm. Because I don't think I'm afraid of being, like I get it. They want to protect their identity and they want to hide. I've done enough of that in my life, and mm-hmm. I don't want to protect my identity. I want people to know that I'm this on all times. So I would be the 24-hour superhero. Mm-hmm. By all means. I would go to the bathroom as a superhero. I'd eat burritos as a superhero. I'd stop by and get Quick Trip as a superhero.
You would just be always in superhero mode.
Should I put our sponsor back? A Quick Trip superhero. Don't worry.
Ding. Don't worry. Trademark.
I know. I'm still hoping that they'll sponsor us.
I kind of am at this point too. I've actually decided to bury the axe. I would love support from anybody. Anybody who wants to support us.
If you would like us to sponsor you, please tell us now.
I will be happy to wear your hat, to eat your food,
to wear your spandex.
I will wear
superhero costume
all the time. I love the title, by the way, 24-hour superhero.
Yeah,
I don't take a break.
Never.
Yeah,
never. I don't ever. Why would I ever want to?
I'm always on
duty.
Why
would I want to take a break from being me?
That is an excellent point, and that could be the topic for a whole other podcast episode.
Okay,
because that's something I've been getting into.
I'm gonna put that on my whiteboard.
Yeah, go for it. We don't
24
have one, but please do.
Yeah.
No, because that's been something
That's
I've
my
been getting into
superhero
lately.
power too.
It's like
Being
whatever
able to
you are, be it all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
It's so hard being this split where it's like here I'm this and here I'm this and here I'm this. It's inconsistent.
Yeah, unfortunately, and I feel really bad for people who are afraid to be them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of friends who feel that they don't have the power to be them. Now, some have very good reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I was a multimillionaire trying to do, big business transactions and I really wanted a face tattoo, it probably wouldn't go over very well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change who he is.
Yeah.
And that person's a really amazing person. And they're afraid to be who they are because of in this case, their financial decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's going to be like teachers.
Yeah.
Don't teachers just want to maybe wear spandex? Maybe it'd be kind of fun to just like go out on the street and wear just their spandex yoga outfit. But if they get a picture taken, then they're being inappropriate. And if they're inappropriate, then the school's going to get involved, and the school's going to be, you're going to get fired because you wore too risque of clothes. What kind of bullshit is that?
I would love to have gotten taught with a teacher with like serious face tattoos. I would have. That was like my math teacher. I would have totally paid attention all the time,
more attention.
especially if they had teardrops.
Yes,
I'd be like, not only do they have face tattoos, but they did something.
These are all the children that have gone missing.
Right.
Pay attention.
Yeah, totally. What is the? No, that's a great equation, teacher. I'm totally paying attention right now.
Well, you need to ask a question. I'll raise my hand. It's okay. It's already there.
Oh, this is not a Kevlar vest.
No. What color would your superhero suit be?
I would want it to change all the time.
Ooh.
I would love for it to because
That's amazing.
Because when I run energy sometimes or do energy work with people, I will muscle test to figure out what color I'd like to actually bring into their field.
Okay.
And one of my favorite things to do with people is have them hold their hands up, and then I'll say different colors, and they'll actually feel the different frequencies of the colors. Because what is a color? It is an energy frequency.
Yeah, it's a frequency.
That's
all
exactly.
Exactly. It's a wavelength.
Right. So if somebody needs, which is kind of funny, orange prana is really good at moving things. Now, coffee contains lots of orange prana.
Orange prana?
Orange prana.
What is
or orange energy?
Is this a color?
Color orange.
This is a color, orange prana. Yeah. Coffee is orange?
Coffee contains orange prana.
You just blow my mind.
I know. So when
this isn't a substance, this is a wavelength.
This is a wavelength.
A color wavelength, orange piranha.
Not piranha. Please avoid orange piranhas. They're not natural. No prana, chi, life force, energy. Yeah. So
it's in coffee.
Is in coffee. It's in oranges. It's in other things as well.
Okay.
But a lot of people, when they consume coffee, have to run to the bathroom shortly thereafter.
Sure.
Now, there's physiological reasons for that too.
Yeah.
But one of my teachers had taught about
in the morning, and you have to go to the bathroom.
But the coffee, the effect it has. So what they would say is, if you have like a constipation or something like that, which please don't try this at home. But if you had constipation, you can actually take your hands and envision or bring in orange prana, orange colored light, and bring that into that area, which I just did. I may have to run to the bathroom now.
You might have to dip out.
Yeah.
Podcast ends early.
Now the opposite would be blue prana or blue energy or blue chi.
Okay.
And so I was in St. Louis with my friends.
So you're saying if you would run around in a suit and you did eat orange piranha, everybody would need to go shit themselves?
They might.
Oh my God.
That's
another unsuper right there. That's the next unsuperhero power.
I could only use it inside like colonoscopies.
You can only be orange piranha.
Right. The GI doctor comes in and he's like, "We need you, Ben." All right, here I am. Obstruction is unblocked.
It's gone.
Yeah. Sorry for the mess, guys.
Oh my God.
No, so I was in St. Louis with my friend Dr. Sammy, and it hit me.
Orange piranha.
No, the need to go hit me hard, and we were like, there was nowhere to go.
Oh, okay.
So what my friend Dr. Sammy did was he did blue prana. Blue prana is something that stabilizes.
But now your arch enemy is Sammy,
right?
The blue prana.
He's undoing the diarrhea that I'm creating.
So he follows you and makes everybody constipated.
Yeah.
You guys constantly battle it out.
Right.
By either making people have to go or be constipated.
Right. The war is on the battles. We're fighting the battles inside your trenches.
I love it. I love it.
Inside the bowels of your spirit. Yeah, and he did that to me. He ran blue energy, blue prana, and I didn't have to go.
You dried right up.
I didn't dry right up, but it helped. I was surprised. I was like, it's not going to work. We had just learned the technique,
okay.
and it worked. And every time it would come back up again, he'd run blue piranha. It would stop. Now, if you have an obstruction within your life, they would say use orange piranha. And of course, use this train
safely. Please, you don't want to shit yourself.
You do not want to.
You're in an office meeting and you'd be like, I just need a little extra.
I need a break right now. Everyone go.
Orange piranha. And then all of a sudden.
Meeting is ended.
It's going to really end awkwardly.
Right. Everyone has to run to the bathroom at the same time. Why do we just have one person stalls here? This is a problem. Every time Tony comes to this meeting. Every time.
So I guess this is going to be the safety warning. If you develop the superpower of using orange piranha, please.
I just love that you're still calling it piranha.
I don't. It's because it's all I got. Be safe. Be out there. Be safe.
I'm going to have like a little animation of like an orange piranha coming through.
Okay, so you would be. I do like this multicolored.
Right, because you become the color whatever's needed.
Would you be like the cuttlefish?
Go on.
Well, the cuttlefish, he can change colors.
Okay.
And they even like radiate colors sometimes to like hypnotize people.
Yeah.
Or not people, but other fish.
Sure.
So they can like pulse colors. Their whole body has this amazing like light display that they can put on. It's actually probably better than 1080p and anything we hit 4K. 4K ain't got shit on a cuttlefish. So
I'm getting that on a t-shirt. You got 4K? Well, I got a
colorfish.
Yeah.
Cuttlefish. And so like then like you could ripple it, or you could change the colors, or you could degrade it and change it and do all kinds. You could have an ombre suit. You could have blue.
Yeah, well,
blue piranha on the bottom.
There was a Harry Potter character that was able to change her looks. Tonks. Yeah. Nymphadora Tonks. She could change her hair. She could change her face. That was pretty cool.
That's cool.
But different colors affect people differently. One of my favorite things about colors, if I can go off on another brief tangent, is
of colors.
Of colors.
Okay, color me bad.
Okay, is the color the person's oftentimes wearing is a color that they're actually needing within their energy field. I have so many people that will wear stones.
I wear a shit ton of blue.
Right, blue.
Are you saying I always need blue?
Well, I'd say that the blue is an attractive color to you. Blue is actually something that helps to calm or settle. It actually helps to open up the throat chakra and the throat centers. It can help with higher center activation.
Basically, what you're telling me is I wear blue so that way my energy doesn't scare everybody away and they can feel calm around me.
I feel so much better when you wear blue.
Oh my God! See, look at this.
You weren't wearing blue the other night.
Okay,
to be fair, you weren't wearing much of anything.
That's. I mean, I had it.
You were dressed as a superhero.
I was.
24-hour superhero.
24-hour superhero. Why? We got to make a theme song for this.
That actually sounds like a jingle. Like we're trying to sell the services. Call 1-800-24-hour.
Okay, so we wear the color that we want to project. No, that we feel we need.
Yeah, that's one theory behind it. I had a lady years ago where she loved. What was it? It was a dark blue color, and and she just oh God, what was that? Anyways, she wore it, but she was also kind of opening up her throat, and she had a lot of tension within her back. You could wear things for myriad reasons, but when you're attracted to something, like I used to have people make stone bracelets within the office. We'd have like a bracelet making night within the space, and people would want me to muscle test or help to intuit what they would pick out. And what I prefer to do is say, what are you attracted to? And then whatever they were attracted to, I would tell them what constituent pieces or what was related to that. And they would find that it actually connected in. Like what you're attracted to in life, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Colors, things, people.
Yeah.
You're picking up something that you likely need to express or something that you need within your energy field or something that's supportive. What is one of the favorite questions a child will ask you? What's your favorite color?
Oh, yeah, right.
Like, why is it just not all the colors, but there's a favorite color that we have, and it tends to change. We're attracted to a particular color.
Totally.
Yeah. So I want all of them. Okay. So whoever's in front of me just gets a favorite color.
I like it.
Or whatever they need.
I like it. It's a beautiful. That blew my mind. I'm so glad that you were that creative on that.
I'm glad it didn't blow your colon.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you that I have. I'm currently using my blue piranha energy resource to combat your orange. Would you have a cape?
Have you seen The Incredibles before?
Yes.
Capes are dangerous.
One
cape got caught in like one of those jet engines.
It's true.
Bad idea.
So no cape for you, huh?
What's the purpose of a cape?
To look cool.
Does it though?
Keep you warm? Well, because that was my other question. So, like, would you have socks or would you not have socks? And the question is would you be warm or not warm? So, like, spandex doesn't keep you very warm.
Yeah.
So maybe you need a coat,
like a
cape
bodysuit,
so you could be warm.
I mean, that's like a blanket around your neck. Then
I mean,
you're one step away from Linus from Peanuts. Yeah, just get a blanket at that point.
So you're no cape, huh?
Wear a scarf.
Okay.
I mean, I want to stand out as a superhero. I'm just not wearing a cape.
You're just not gonna wear a cape.
I don't think so.
How about a turban? Then if you got cold, you can put the turban and it could be a blanket.
Well, let's talk about another skill set since you're speaking about cold. This is a gift of the spirit. Did you ever hear of Wim Hof before?
Wim Hof?
Wim Hof.
Nope.
He is known as the Iceman.
Okay. Versus Frosty.
Versus Frosty.
Okay.
Yeah, the reason why he's known as an Iceman. This is a great origin story, by the way. His wife died, 15 or 20 years ago. And he went through like this existential break. And I don't know exactly how he got into it, but he started playing around with the cold. And you can submerge this man in an ice bath for an hour and his core temperature does not change.
Ooh, wow.
He walks barefoot in the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get frostbite.
I mean, I'm from Fargo, so I'm used to a lot of cold too.
Yeah.
So,
but it's an activation of his mind.
Well, most of that for sure is because, I mean, even I know that. I mean,
and breathing technique he does as well.
You can tell your body to increase or decrease a lot of stuff, based on how you're focusing on what you need.
Yeah.
And if you can just pay attention to those resources in the body and you can allow those electrical impulses to do what they do, they'll help feed it.
Well, he's made it
I
reproducible.
I used to do that when I would run.
Mm-hmm.
I would use yoga breathing techniques.
Yeah.
To pseudo meditate because I wouldn't really go into a meditative state. I would just kind of calm myself and keep my heart rate. And my heart rate would stay low or stay lower as I would run these long distances and stay more consistent. And I wouldn't get a high heart rate, even though I was running and using a very high cardiovascular situation.
Yeah, you were training your mind and your body to work together.
Yeah.
And it's just moving energy anyways.
Yeah.
So to take that story further, he's taught this to other people, and he's even done something where they've injected bacterial endotoxin, which would cause a fever in somebody. It would make them febrile. But he can inject it into him, he can inject it into people that he's trained, and they don't get a fever. They're able to transmute or they're able to move the energy behind it. Now, what Wim Hof is doing is new to the West, but it's not new to the world. There's a technique called Tummo, T-U-M-M-O, and it was actually done by Buddhist monks. And they could be in a very cold setting, you can put a towel over them, and they would actually create so much heat that they would start sweating. And it was an activation of the mind and their breathing. And I actually believe that they were tapping into the root chakra and actually drawing heat into the body that way, among other methods. But these are all like the thing I love about life right now, by the way, and you're loving life too, is that in my 40s, I'm realizing I still have so much to learn.
Oh my God, yeah.
And the limitation I was looking at through the lens of this world before is so minor that I'm thinking, we all have immense gifts that we're tapping into. I can just only imagine. There's people like beings like Babaji. I don't know if you've heard of Babaji before, but he's said to have lived for centuries.
I mean, I've heard of Baby Yoda.
Very close. Very close. He's his brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So Babaji is said to be an avatar.
Okay.
He's said to be a perfected being who lives within this world. And there's all these documented cases of him. There's one Westerner who...
Is this similar to... I feel like this is very similar to Bigfoot.
It isn't.
But all of these documented cases
right.
of him actually existing always.
Well, there's one Westerner that talked about actually going to be around some of his followers. And being a Westerner, he was irreverent. He wasn't actually following all the traditions of the culture in India at the time. So when Babaji walked past him, he stood up. Everyone else was in a bowing position. He stood up. And he turned around and he went to touch him. And when he went to touch him, he disappeared. He then hung around his house, and the food that Babaji had blessed and left outside of his house, or the place that he was dwelling at the time, he said was so imbued with prana, not piranha, but maybe piranhas, prana or life force or energy, that when he would eat it, he would go into an ecstatic state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, does that mean it's true? There's also stories of Saint Germain and other people that lived for centuries.
Yeah, totally.
And I haven't experienced a person like that, but I'm completely open.
To experience something.
Right. I'm an empiricist. I want to experience it all. Right. I don't want to limit my mind. Everything that we can conceive of may or may not exist. I've met many people who are skeptical and they go, well, that's not scientific. But as soon as we tap into skepticism and we say, this is all that's possible, all we can see is this.
Right.
A famous example is like the Native Americans were said to have not been able to recognize the Westerners' ships. So it's like they just appeared on shore. They didn't recognize the boats because their mind could not conceive of something so vast and so large.
Oh, interesting.
When they actually walked among the plains, they saw them as gods. And many of the conquistadors were actually viewed upon as like gods. And so they were very easy to slay and very easy to take over from that perspective. I'm not saying that is the life of a skeptic, but I'm saying you got a mind that can just blast wide open. Why limit it? Keep yourself at least open to the possibility of miracles. Or if not miracles, something we've yet to be able to fully explain.
Like being eradicated with radioactive spider venom.
Like Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
Or James, who's like sticking his fingers under the wall.
Tried to.
Yeah. And climbing your way up.
Yeah, and all of it still pertains to finding and figuring out where those small little hidden traits, talents that exist, and then giving them power, giving yourself power for them. And I mean, sometimes they're very quiet. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're really small. And when you, and this is the same guy too, Iceman Cold Dude, what was his name?
Iceman Cold Dude. I prefer that one.
Babaji.
No, we're so.
Okay, it's the wrong one.
It was like 5 minutes ago. You're not even paying attention.
Yeah. No, well, I mean.
Wim Hof.
Superhuman power is not name remembering. Okay.
Yeah.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof.
Wim Hof. So Wim Hof had the ability to concentrate and focus on knowing more about his body.
Yeah.
And so then he just exploited it. He just explored it. He just tried it again and again and again. And you get better. What the hell do you think you do in life? Mm-hmm. You try something again and again and again and you get better. I can't play the violin, but if I tried it again and again and again, I probably could get better. Not somewhere where you'd want to listen to it, but I'd be better.
I love that bad violin playing. That's what I listen to.
That goes on one of our sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we forget that these amazing miracles. Take Shaun White, snowboarder.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
All he does is snowboard, right? He's just done one thing over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And what is he? He's amazing at it. His superhero power is snowboarding because he just worked at it.
And it's his passion and it's what he's gifted in. That's it. I mean, I work with so many teenagers and 20-somethings, and it's not to pick on them, but it is, don't do anything banal. Don't do anything because you think you're going to make money doing it. Do it because your soul is burning on the inside, and if you don't do it, it feels like it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
I was just walking with a friend this afternoon, and she desperately wants to get into teaching and doing healing and things like that. And she's working for the government right now, and she's an amazing healer and an amazing teacher. And I spent the better part of an hour talking her into being herself.
Right.
Moving the blockages out of the way and getting into, because you can be mediocre at anything, but you're made to be great for something.
Absolutely.
Like yawning mid-sentence.
Well,
that was impressive.
Half sentence.
Yeah.
I
have to cut that out now. That was so long.
It is.
And we've gone over.
Yeah, it's 18 minutes later. Yawn.
Yeah.
My third superpower.
To be fair, it's about 130 degrees in here.
I thought my superpower at the moment was the ability to raise the ambient temperature in the room.
It is so hot in here.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I didn't tell you this, but hey, Ben, it's a superpower of mine. I can change the temperature of the room.
My butt is on wet.
Stop giving me orange piranha.
Orange piranhas.
Light,
I don't want your orange piranhas.
I will not raise the temperature of the room. I mean, it's the way that works.
I'm blasting with as much blue as I can. I'm trying to Wim Hof, and you just keep on melting it through. All the ice I'm throwing your way.
Seriously.
There's too much love.
Well, and I think that some of the biggest things is just realize is that we're all super.
Yeah.
And human. So we're superhuman.
It's a marriage of the two.
Look at that. Bam.
So, okay, another jumping off point.
Ooh, let's jump.
Okay.
I can fly 1 inch off the ground.
We're talking about everything you described initially was all you. Can I borrow 27 cents?
Let's do it. I got it.
No dollar bills, no folding cash. You could just stand in line and give people change all day long.
That's all I could do.
You're like, 57.73. There you go. Here's your 73 cents.
Here's your 73. Good luck with the other.
Yeah, you can work out a deal with somebody. No, so in spiritual terms, right? There's some people talk about the higher self. Mm-hmm. Some people talk about their soul. Some people talk about consciousness, God, universe. But you have then a split. Eckhart Tolle talks about you've got the observer and you've got the ego. Mm-hmm. Right. So your ego is like the personality that you have. It's your identity by all the things around you.
God, I got a big ego.
You got a lot of things around you. And then the higher self would be the observer, your superpower, right? Mm. So when I go into like a mode where I'm super connected with like my soul, my consciousness, my higher self, whatever you want to label it as, my consciousness, what comes through me is amazing. I'll be working on someone, so much energy will come through that they'll fall backwards and I have to hold them up. And I'm not even tired. It's just running through. My point, though, is that is the marriage. The marriage is being super and being human. Everyone listening to this, us included, are super, and we're human. I've heard it said before, we aren't souls, we're not humans struggling to be souls or spiritual. We're spirits struggling to be human.
Very true.
So love your humanity, love all the imperfections, but know that you're super. Superpower, super skills.
That's super everything, man.
Yeah.
There's people who can literally jump off of buildings and not die. There's people who have fallen out of airplanes and their parachute didn't open. They didn't die.
Yeah.
There's people who got struck by lightning and they didn't die. Like we are super human because we're anything is possible.
Yeah.
We just don't help it become possible. So try a little thing at a time. Find a talent, find a little one.
Yeah.
And then try it again.
Listen to where you're being guided. Listen to, walking on that trail with my friend about 2 hours ago, however long it was, she said, I want to live in spring and I want to live in fall. She wasn't actually talking about the seasons of the year. Summer is typically a month of work.
Oh, she was talking about living like in a spring, so like a mattress, and then falling.
And then falling on the mattress.
Okay.
Yeah, this is exactly what she was saying. I think I interpreted
so really
it
a trampoline.
She's describing the rebirth. Like springtime is rebirth, renewal.
Okay.
And then fall is when you actually harvest.
Yeah.
Summer is typically when you work. She wants to move into a space where she has all these new ideas and things come to her quickly. Now that can happen to any of us, but it can only happen when we're flowing. And it'll only happen when we're actually following, when we're being guided. And you know you're there because you're enjoying it. Like when you're working on your yard, or when you're creating, or when you're hosting, having events and things like that. You're in your element.
Yeah.
I just see like you're the king of your own universe. And you just like are grinning from ear to ear. And when I'm in a space where I can help to heal people or help to bring them into themselves, or I can love a stranger, or just be around people and bring them into this completion point within themselves.
Yeah. Totally.
I'm on fire.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So it's like one person's playing the violin, another person is, building decks and creating this magical world in their backyard. There is no one right expression. It's just like whatever your superhero skill, recognize it. It'll be what people talk to you about. It'll be what the gift that you feel alive when you're sharing it with somebody. But don't be derivative. Don't try to be somebody else.
Don't try to be somebody else's superpower.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna conflict you all day long.
Yeah.
Because you can't be something you're not.
Right.
That's truly what it is.
We
can grow, but you can't be something you're not.
Well, the saddest day of my life was when I realized that I could not be Beyonce.
I know you're still trying. Your dance moves are getting a little better, but
my body's too bootylicious.
She wore spandex too, maybe. See?
She wore it well, though.
All black spandex.
If I wore spandex, it doesn't matter if it even
I think
changes
she
like
wore
my costume.
all gold spandex one time. That was hot.
She's worn everything.
Yeah.
But even if my spandex changed color.
She's a super person.
She's got to be.
Superhuman. I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. To be able to dance that much, sing that much, and still not break a sweat.
Yeah, it's easy for her.
Or she has 14 people wiping her down every second.
Well, they're good at wiping things down.
That's their superpower.
Right. I was born to wipe down spandex.
Right. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I think we could all be superhuman people.
Yeah. And you guys got to be too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you're super.
Thank you. And I think you're super too.
I was just waiting. I was baiting. I was like,
I know, but
Yeah.
But in the end, I love you.
yeah,
So
always.
it's always been a good time, and be super.
Right. And this is one of our superhero skills.
There you go.
Love.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
The unifying force of all things.
Yeah.
So be in love. I love you, Pinkie.
Love you, Ben.
Love you guys.
Pinkie the Ben.
Pinkie the man.
Because we say it at the end, not the beginning. Those guys.
Bow.